This is a real American neighborhood. People used to live here. The government didn't abandon it because of crime, or poverty, or a hurricane. They abandoned it because the ground itself is on fire, and has been for over 60 years. 3 American suburbs, all of them built to be dream neighborhoods, all of them now completely off limits. A town where the earth burns beneath your feet, a city of thousands of miles of roads, and almost no houses, and a luxury beach resort that turned into one of the most toxic places in the United States. Here's what happened to each one. We talk a lot about the housing market on this channel, where prices are going, what to buy, what to avoid. But today, we're looking at something different. The places the market itself wrote off, permanently. Each of these suburbs has a lesson buried in it about planning disasters, government failure, environmental collapse, and what happens when American optimism goes very badly wrong. Town 1, Centralia, Pennsylvania. In 1962, someone lit a trash fire in a landfill outside a small Pennsylvania mining town called Centralia. The landfill happened to sit directly on top of a coal seam that runs underneath the entire town. The fire caught the coal, and it never went out. 60 years later, the ground in Centralia reaches temperatures of over 1,000 degrees Fahrenheit just a few feet below the surface. Steam and carbon monoxide vent up through cracks in the road. The main highway, Route 61, split open. The pavement buckled, cracked, and collapsed in on itself. The government closed the road and left it. People started calling it Graffiti Highway because over the years, visitors covered every inch of it in spray paint, a monument to a town that no longer existed. At its peak, Centralia had 1,100 residents. The government offered buyouts, and most people took them. They relocated, moved on, tried to forget, but not everyone left. A handful of families fought the state in court for years, refusing to give up their homes. They had lived there their whole lives. Their parents were buried there. Why should they leave because of a fire they didn't start? As of the 2020 census, 5 people still lived in Centralia. The United States Postal Service officially erased the town's zip code. Centralia, Pennsylvania, as a legal functioning community, no longer exists. You might have heard of Centralia without knowing it. This is the real town that inspired Silent Hill, the video game franchise that has sold over 50 million copies worldwide. The developers saw photos of the smoke rising from the cracked roads and built an entire horror universe around it. The real story is scarier. For anyone thinking about the housing angle, the properties that sold before the government evacuation went for almost nothing, pennies on the dollar. Today, the remaining structures are condemned. There is no buyback program. There is no recovery plan. The fire underground will continue burning for an estimated 250 more years. That was a town the ground swallowed whole. The next one is stranger, because this suburb never even got built. California City was supposed to become the second largest city in the state of California. The developer had an 82,000-acre master plan, a marketing team, and a very convincing sales pitch. Today, it is thousands of miles of empty roads carved into the Mojave Desert, leading to absolutely nothing. Town 2, California City, California. In 1958, a sociologist turned real estate developer named Nathaniel Mendelsohn purchased 82,000 acres of Mojave Desert land, a plot nearly as large as the city of Chicago. His vision was bold. He wasn't just going to build a neighborhood. He was going to build a city from scratch. In the middle of the desert, he called it California City. Mendelsohn had the roads graded and paved first. Hundreds of miles of cul-de-sacs, named streets and grid roads, all carved into the dirt before a single house was built. Then he started selling lots. By mail. Buyers across the country received brochures showing a planned paradise, parks, a lake, a golf course, wide boulevards lined with homes. They bought lots for $500, sight unseen, believing they were getting in early on the next Palm Springs. Most of them never visited. California City was officially incorporated as a city in 1965, complete with a mayor, a city council, and a post office. But the houses never came. The population today sits at around 14,000, clustered in a tiny fraction of the platted land. The rest? Empty lots, crumbling model homes, and those roads, hundreds of miles of maintained city roads, leading to nothing but open desert. If you look at California City on satellite imagery, what you see is genuinely haunting. The grid of streets is so enormous it almost looks like a real city from above. Street names, intersections, cul-de-sacs, all of it perfectly laid out, just no buildings. From a housing perspective, this is one of the most audacious land schemes in American history. Those lots that sold for $500 in the 1960s, today they trade for between $1,000 and $3,000. 60 years of holding, 60 years of waiting for the city that was always coming. And they barely moved. 2 down, 1 to go. The last one is the darkest, because this wasn't a planning failure. People actually lived there. They had beach houses, boat slips, a waterfront resort community where Frank Sinatra performed and the Beach Boys came to play. And then the water turned toxic. The fish started dying by the millions, and the government decided it was too expensive to fix. This is the Salton Sea. Town 3, Salton Sea, California. In the 1950s and 60s, the Salton Sea was California's answer to Miami Beach. It was the largest lake in the state, a sparkling blue body of water in the desert southeast of Palm Springs. Developers saw the warm climate, the waterfront, and the cheap land, and built an entire resort community around it. Yacht clubs, marinas, waterfront restaurants, a speedboat racing circuit. The lots sold fast. The dream was real. But the Salton Sea has no outlet. It's a closed system. Water flows in, nothing flows out. As the decades passed, agricultural runoff from the surrounding farms began pouring fertilizer and salt into the water. The salinity climbed, the oxygen dropped, and then the fish started dying. Not a few fish. Hundreds of millions of tilapia, the species that had thrived in the lake, began washing up on shore all at once. The rotting fish combined with the brine created hydrogen sulfide gas. The smell was so powerful it reached Los Angeles, 150 miles away. People didn't just leave, they fled. What remains today looks like the set of a post-apocalyptic film. Trailers half submerged in toxic mud, windows missing, carpet still on the floors, boat docks reaching out over a receding shoreline, no water underneath them, a children's playground, frozen, a Ferris wheel, still standing. But this isn't just history. As the lake continues to shrink, the exposed lakebed becomes a source of toxic dust, carrying selenium, arsenic, and chromium, blowing directly into the lungs of the 650,000 people who live in the Coachella Valley. The communities surrounding the Salton Sea have some of the highest childhood asthma rates in the United States. The state of California has spent years holding committee meetings about restoration plans. Some funding has been allocated, some small wetland areas have been partially restored. But for the people living in the abandoned communities on the shoreline, the ones whose neighborhoods turned from a resort into a wasteland within a single generation, the help has not arrived. 3 suburbs, 3 total failures. A coal fire nobody planned for, a city that was always just a sales pitch, and a resort that poisoned itself from the inside. What they all have in common: someone sold a dream, someone bought it, and the people left holding the deed paid the price. That's what this channel is about. Not just where home prices are going up, or where inventory is tight, or what the Fed is doing to mortgage rates. It's about the full picture of what American housing actually is, the wins, the disasters, and everything in between. Because the same forces that created Centralia, California City, and the Salton Sea, bad information, bad planning, people buying land they don't fully understand, are still at work in the housing market today, just more quietly. If you made it this far, you're exactly who this channel is for. Subscribe so you don't miss what's coming next. And if you know someone who's thinking about buying land or moving somewhere new or making a big housing decision, send them this video first. It might save them from making a very expensive mistake.